Welcome back to Pressed Conference. We have a special announcement.
Oh my god, this is so cool. We're doing a watch party at Nashville, Tribe Nashville. Amanda, give us the details.
Yes, so we are going to be guests for the Princess from Drag Race Season 4's viewing party for Drag Race Season 15. It's going to be at Tribe Nashville, and it's free to get in. No tickets, just show up. And we're going to be talking all things Drag Race during the breaks. It's going to be super fun, and we'd love to see y'all there, whether you're from Nashville, the Nashville area, wherever. And we'll have Jack Fed there too, but
Yes,
press conference is going live.
so exciting.
Nita, would you like to introduce our guest?
Oh, yes, of course. We have the legendary, she's an icon in the Australian drag community. She was in Drag Race Down Under season 2, and she is the one and only Minnie Cooper. I love you, Minnie. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. I loved listening to your podcast with Beverly. You both made me laugh so much.
Oh,
Thank
oh my
you.
gosh. I literally have been so excited for this episode. When Nita and I were talking about having Rue Girls on, you were at the top of my list. And I was like, I need Minnie. Like, I was so annoying. Nita would be like, who do you want to invite? I was like, well, Minnie, of course. And then everyone else.
Really
but Minnie, let's make sure we get Minnie. So I'm just so happy.
That's really sweet. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh,
thank you for coming. Down Under season 2 was such a good season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think part of it is because, you were on it. Y'all were so talented, just fell in love with everybody. So, it's an honor for that you're here.
There was a word you used to describe, magnetic was the word you used to describe us, which I thought was very kind of you.
Oh, I stand by that. Such a great cast.
It was a really great cast, wasn't it? I think every one of us has something to give to storyline and everything. I really do believe that.
Yeah, it's such a. I feel like if anybody hasn't seen Down Under, please go watch it. It is such a great season of Drag Race. So good.
I think because of season 1, a lot of people were turned off by season 2. Shame. And I feel sorry for season 1 because I don't think a lot of it was their fault.
No. Yeah.
I agree.
I think production had a lot to do with how storylines went and hence the outcome.
That's definitely true. So, Minnie, I wanted to ask you, first of all, how are you? Right?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
And how has everything changed after you came out of Drag Race?
Oh, do you know what? Question. If I'm going to be really transparent, it really affected my mental health during the show, to be honest. And it's funny, all that coming out of girls talking about their mental health. That's why, and at that time I was very reactive and in survival mode. And when I watch myself, that's me on the TV, but it's not who I am in my everyday life. So it's very hard because I was very reactive, and so I was very in survival mode, and it's really hard for me to watch, to be honest.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, does that make sense to you?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realise how stressful that is. I was in lockdown for a whole month before even seeing people. So I had all that, because we had the Omicron came out. So I had to lock myself in at home for 2 weeks, and then I was locked in 2 weeks in New Zealand. And then going into that environment was so stressful.
Oh,
wow. I can't imagine. Yeah.
That's a lot. It's a lot for any. I've had to process that for the whole year. I've had to take time to process all of that. And it's taken me that long to process it. It's been really tough.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you know what? But I think it makes you. Hopefully, I come out the end a better person. Or a person.
And also, I want to ask, how was the fan reaction? Was it what did you expect the reaction that you got, or was it?
Mine was because I was polarizing. Do you know what I mean? Because I have very clear opinions, and you're either going to like my opinion, and I was very polarizing. So I'd have an A team and a B team. There was some people would agree with me, and some people wouldn't. When you're polarizing, I'm an older person. I'm not scared to speak my mind. That's quite obvious. That was something interesting that happened. I'm relating my experience to this, where it was when Mistress said to Marsha, I think your outfit's a little bit cheap. I can so relate to that. And drag queens talk like that in our environment, but we do. That's the way we all talk like that. And then our behaviour is put under a microscope of what our world is not like a normal world. We don't have PR. What is it? HR. We don't have all those things. You can actually say it's a very different community, I think, drag. It really is. And we get scrutinized for it sometimes.
I just find it so frustrating that the community online that often attacks people and tries to cancel queens are people who've never even stepped foot in a bar, let alone worked with queens. They don't understand. They've only seen Drag Race and they don't know what the real world is like. You know, it's just ridiculous.
And even I do you ever watch Survivor? The TV show Survivor?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Drag Race is exactly like Survivor. You're put on this island with 10 queens or 16 queens, and you're there to fend for yourself. It is exactly, but it's just a bit more glamorous.
Yeah. Be careful, RuPaul's going to steal that idea and put it in whatever development plan he's got going.
Well, that's what All Stars is like, really, because they all get to vote off each queen. I really think All Stars is very much like Survivor. Like, I really do.
Yeah.
Because I've been watching a lot of Survivor and relating to those people.
Yeah.
Survivor.
Reviver.
That's not good.
We're just on a desert island with a bit of glitter and off we go.
So before, we get into, the messy stuff, questions from Twitter and getting, shady. I want to just ask you about this exciting project that you're about to release. I want to know, can you tell us a little bit about it, when it will come out, and just how did you start it?
Well, how did I start it? Well, it comes back to my Drag Race experience. So on the show, there was that moment with Pamara and I where Pamara had heard I'd said, I don't care she does drag, I just hate she gets paid for it, which I 100% did say. I said it 100%. But it was in the context.
It was funny.
Oh, so funny. Oh, it's so funny. So funny. It's really funny. But she was told in a way that wasn't told that it was funny. She was told, oh, Minnie's saying these horrible things about you. But the person who told her was the one that was actually saying the horrible things. So that's where I'm saying it's not my fault. Because I said to Pamara, because there's so much context you don't see, I actually said, yeah, I said it and I hate you had to hear it because it wasn't meant for you to hear. It was like we all talk in private and we say things that aren't meant for people to hear. And that was, and she said it on camera, so I got to write a song about it.
I love that.
That's iconic.
Love that.
And that's where the idea of the song came from. And I love that song Fashionista from the early 2000s. So, and I worked with Coco Jumbo, who was on season 1. And I just thought, and I wanted her to do the intro, but then it just extended it to more of a duet. And I actually wrote that song before the show aired. It's taken me that long to get it off the ground.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I haven't, because Drag Race for me hasn't been like one of those things where I've come off and felt inspired. It actually did the opposite to me, to be honest. I was like, I had to really process a lot. So this is why it's exciting for me to do this song. It's like my healing. Is the best way I could describe it.
That's love
so
that.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
I can't wait to, hear it officially because, I've heard it. I don't know if I can say that.
And my question was, what was your honest reaction when you first heard it? Have you heard it?
I liked it.
Oh, I haven't heard it, no.
Oh, I'll have to.
Oh, send it to me!
I'll send it to you after the interview. I'll send it to you.
Perfect, yes, thank you.
I enjoyed it. I think it was really fun. I'm going to stream it when it pops on Spotify.
Yeah.
And when will it pop on Spotify?
It pops up. It officially goes on Spotify on February the 1st, but I think I'll release it on like the Friday the 3rd, like somewhere around there.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is only a week away. It's not far away.
Oh, yeah. So soon.
Oh, it might be out when the episode comes out, will it?
Yeah, it might be out.
No, it won't.
No, it won't, because I think, it's Friday next week. Because what are we? The 24th today.
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
And I have
it will be 1 week.
I've got a question for both of you. Amanda, what is your love of Drag Race? I want to know.
What's my love of Drag Race?
Yeah, why do you love Drag Race so much?
I started watching Drag Race a lot later than people, and it wasn't the way I first discovered drag. Mm-hmm. So I unknowingly loved drag since I was like very young, like 5 or 6, because I would go to Japan a lot since I'm half Japanese, and there would be drag queens as personalities on like talk shows and things. And they had their own like shows where they would like be funny and be comedians, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just saw that. I didn't realize it was drag. Like I kind of got the idea, but I didn't like have a name to put with it when I was younger.
Yeah.
And so I just grew up loving that. And then when I was 18, I went to I went to a gay bar for the first time. I went to play Nashville for a meet and greet for Todrick Hall, which is kind of weird now, given that now I really don't like Todrick Hall. But things but things happen for a reason, and that was when I saw drag performance for the first time, and I fell in love with it. I saw Georges there, like that was the first drag queen I ever saw. She had just started up, and I really fell in love with it. And when my friends would want to go to the club, I would go because I wanted to watch the drag. They would want to go to see the drag for a few minutes and then go to the dance floor. But I was really obsessed with like the performance aspect since I'm a theater kid, and just the dancing and the fashion, the makeup and everything. And then I was recommended Drag Race. They're like, you love going to see this drag so much. Why don't you watch this TV show? So then I started, and immediately I was like, oh, this is fantastic. So it was like kind of an addition to what I already loved about drag, like getting to see it elevated and beyond the local level. It was just really, really cool. So that's how I came to love Drag Race.
So where did you discover your love for drag?
Okay, so I grew up in Nepal. I lived there for like 18 years of my life, and my family's back there. So I discovered it through Facebook. It was like some old people. I used to be in a lot of Facebook groups.
Yeah.
Because I was weirdly obsessed with American people. like I was like not 13. I was like younger. It was like, and I was on Facebook, and I was obsessed with like Facebook groups and American people. That was like my one thing for some reason. It's weird. And somebody had posted a clip of Trinity lip syncing from season 7, the Bianca season, and I loved it. I didn't know what it was. I just loved it. It was so good. So I had to find what it was, and logo wasn't something that we never, like, nobody knew what logo was back home. Like, it doesn't exist. So I had to pirate episodes online, and I watched it, and it was just something that was so colorful. And at a time where, growing up, I mean, I wasn't surrounded by queer art and queer people. So it just felt like it was something that understood who I was and what I did. And I just loved it. And I used to sneak watch it at my room late at night. It was just, that's why I fell in love with Drag Race. And I love that now I can talk about it.
Yeah. It's funny how that you say you had to sneak to watch it, like it's this naughty thing. And what I find funny about drag is that it's just, at the end of the day, it's just clothing. That's all it is. But we have, because of social norms, without the social norms, drag wouldn't be as fabulous as it is, really. So it's like a bit of a conundrum. But really, it's, at the end of the day, it's just clothing. That's all it is.
Yeah.
As RuPaul says.
Also, it's really interesting because in South Asian television, drag is okay if a straight man does it, in a sense of like mocking a woman. And I grew up watching that. But for some reason, Drag Race was so scandalous, and now I understand it's because it was queer people doing it, and it was actually like a way of celebrating, womanhood. So,
but now we need to ask you, like, how did you discover drag and Drag Race?
Well, I've been doing drag I think I discovered drag when I was 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because my mother, she was actually quite fantastic, actually. My mother never discouraged me from dressing up. And there was like a book parade at school. And my sister used to do ballroom dancing, and I put a ballroom dress on. And my mum used to wear this hideous red wig. I'd put that on a witch's nose. And I went into the parade. So I always say I did drag at a very young age.
Yes.
And then when I hit my teens, and then there was all that shame that comes with being a teenager and being queer.
Yeah.
And then when I was 19, my first boyfriend used to choreograph drag shows for drag queens. So I'd been around drag and choreographed drag shows till about 31. And there was always this voice inside me that wanted to do drag. But there was so much, it wasn't like it is now. We didn't have Drag Race. It's actually quite shameful to do drag. And then someone went away to Cyprus and they were looking for someone to fill in. And I was in between jobs because I was a theatre kid as well. And 20 years later, I'm still doing drag. I've been filling in for drag for the last 20 years. It is what I was meant to be, was a drag queen. It's really fundamental.
Oh, that's so incredible.
Yeah, so that's my story.
You said that like it was shameful to drag, but have you like what is the difference from when you started drag and now? Like obviously there's a difference, but
well, because look at drag. This is where drag race is almost like a double-edged sword. I always said the good thing about it, it puts drag into people's home and it normalized us. We weren't, because I remember like there were times if you did drag, you were a drug addict. You're mean. Look, people have this perception of what they think a drag queen is. They're scared of us. Like they see a drag queen, which is sort of a good thing. Because, there's this perception. People have a preconceived idea of what they thought a drag queen was. And what the show does, it humanizes people. Like they all have regular jobs. They're a nurse or they've done other jobs apart from being a drag queen.
Right.
That's what I love about drag, and that's the difference.
That's good.
And do you think it's become harder, almost like now that drag is so mainstream? Do you think that it's better that it's mainstream, or just?
Well, I just believe things evolve. I just think that I feel like, back in my day, it used to be like this. Like things evolve. Like the difference I have noticed is that when I did drag, we used to have lots of production shows here in Australia. I'll actually send you some of the stuff, the kind of drag that we do here. It's like we have five girls or 3 queens dancing together with boys and produce shows in a theme, which was very uniquely Australian and very Sydney, actually. When now, drags just do drag to get on a reality television show. That's the aim, is to get onto Drag Race. It's not to be successful in your community. It's to get on Drag Race. That's the aim, which was an aim for me as well. I never thought I'd get on Drag Race because I was 50 when I was 49 when I applied. And I just thought that my chances of getting on are very slim because the only person over 50 was Charlie.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Ageism, it's a real thing.
It's true.
Also, like,
I often wonder why there isn't many. Are older queens not applying? Is that what it is? I don't know. I find that weird.
Yeah. I mean, I've asked older queens at home, like, if they ever would consider, and they usually just say no, and that they're comfortable where they are. And a lot of them, I guess, at least at my club, just don't want the pressure of being put under that spotlight and not knowing the edit. I think they're more, they understand the background because they see every girl from our, like, so many people from our club go on and they see the negative effects of it. And I think
and that's the luck of the draw
also,
going on the show.
Yeah, but I feel like the casting also comes into play because now Drag Race, especially the US one, like it's so popular and the fans are all young, so I guess they want younger queens on because social media. So that's why like they don't cast older queens. I personally think that there should be a balance of older and younger queens, especially that's why I think Drag Race Down Under 2 was so good. The cast was so good.
Agreed.
Because you had all kinds of queens. Like you had 22 years old and then you had 50-year-old. It just was so good.
And speaking about ageism, I felt like Beverly copped a bit of ageism as well for being 21. Like, I think it went the opposite end of the scale. Like, I think Beverly and I are more alike than she cares to think. both speak. What I think similar between Beverly and I is that we feel what we feel in the moment and we express it. We don't hold it back. And I don't necessarily fatigue. It makes for great television, but we receive the backlash for having our emotions shown so vulnerably. We wear our heart on our sleeve. We're very much like, who else is like that? Kong is very like that, I think, as well. Wears her heart on her sleeve. And it makes for great TV. It makes all those people that wear their heart on the sleeve always make great television.
Right. Agreed.
Okay, a controversial question.
Go.
How are things with Pomara now?
I plead the Pomara fifth.
Noted.
We don't really talk. Like, I never really spoke to her much before the show started, and our relationship has continued like that. We did the tour together, And it was fine, like, it's fine, but we've not spoken before or after the show, really.
I see.
And, like, we're different kind of people. We're not the same people.
Yeah.
And that's the weird thing. Like, in my life, I'm... This is what's tricky with someone being... I think this is where it comes into play, being older, because I'm a teacher in my real life. I'm a boss in my real life, and then I go into a show where I have no control over anything. And it's weird. It's weird. And I get that. We're all on the even playing field. I don't expect to be treated any differently. But I think, like, when someone's talking and laughing, it's very disrespectful when they're talking about something vulnerable. I wouldn't do that to someone personally. There were things like that I found really... True. And I was cut off a lot when I was talking, which wasn't shown, which I found very upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were things that weren't shown, which I can't talk about, which were upsetting. And that's why I really struggled.
I see.
Yeah. Oh, controversial. They're not bad people. None of us are bad people. Like, and I mean that, obviously. No. But we're in a everybody wants to win this competition, and everybody's going to do whatever they can. Like, I thought it was really interesting. You said when Molly was talking about me putting the ribbon on me, and you go, "Oh, why would you say that about Minnie? She looks like this nice motherly old man." And I normally am. Just not in that environment, I suppose. It was weird. Did you find me quite problematic, is my question.
No. I thought you were fun. I gotta tell you, I don't know if it was the edit, but when during the Snatch Game episode where Rue was doing the rounds, and when she came to talk to you, and just, I don't know if it was the edit, but they're randomly saying, like, "Oh, Beverly," I forgot what it was exactly, but it was like, "Beverly did this." I thought that was so funny. It was so random. It was so
that was the thing I got trolled over a lot. And I get it. It looks like I throw Beverly under the bus. But when you're going to remember, the show was shot over it. It's not... We don't have weeks off. It's all shot in consecutive days. So that's like a build-up of all this stuff that's happened to me. Like the thing with Pamara. They were all saying, you can't talk behind Pamara's back. Then Beverly, and I thought Beverly was part of that group, actually, because there was a few of them ganging up on me.
Yeah.
And then, so when Beverly comes back and goes, and in my mind, this is in my mind, right? Beverly goes, "Oh, I hated working with Pamara." And I'm like, oh, so it's okay for you to talk about it. And then I think, this is all shown on camera. They've seen it. Beverly, you just said it on camera. So when Rue's asking me the question, I think he's asking me the question because he's seen it on camera. But the people don't look at it like that. The people just think we're talking private. Nothing we ever said in that room is private. They know exactly what we've all said to everyone. We're all on camera. But in my mind, and I shouldn't have said it to Rue, I feel so bad for that. Like, and I was at the end of my tether at that point. It was like that's how it manifested. Is that the best way to describe that?
Yeah.
For you? And it was stupid of me, but it was just me. I'm a loose cannon.
Honestly, I thought you were just bringing back the entertainment and the drama that has been gone for so long on Drag Race. I was like, thank you, Minnie. Finally, someone's doing something.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, there were so many times that I'd hear this. Oh, I don't know if I can say that. Like, you'd hear things. No. What would they say at Roscoe's when they couldn't say something? In my opinion. If you keep sitting on the fence, your ass is going to get sore because nobody wants to look bad, so they all sit there and don't speak.
Yeah.
But me, I just say my opinion.
Exactly. You were doing what the producers wanted.
Yeah, I was producing.
I'm sure they love you for that.
They did. Sure they did.
So Amanda, before we go into the Twitter question and like the Snatch Game stuff, I just want to ask like one last thing, which was so when you got eliminated, they do that like little thing with Michelle Visage at the end, like when you walk out. And you said, I don't remember the verbatim, but you said that you were glad to leave.
Yeah, because I was mentally spent. I was not in. That's what I mean. This is what's really interesting with all these people like Isis and Baby coming out about mental health. Like I was in that space. I was crying all the time. I was like, I was not in a very healthy mental way. So I was glad to leave because I just couldn't bear being in that boiling pot anymore because I had no one. I really had no one on my side, really. Right or wrong, like, I don't know. They like, It was weird. Like, I don't know. When Pamara and the dyslexia thing, that took me back to my childhood, like people laughing at me because I couldn't read. And that's why I was so reactive. And when you're in a boiling pot like that, that really affected me. Really did. I was and all these, I think all that stuff, that trauma that you have in your life just comes out in a show like that. And when you're 50, you have a lot of
it. Yeah.
I mean, Drag Race is a pressure cooker, so
it's a pressure.
I understand. I think,
and I was having conflict with a lot of people. I was there for 4 episodes and had conflict with 4 people.
Right.
I have a question for you. What did you think of the moment when I told Aubrey her costume was ill-fitting?
I was like, yes, Minnie, get it! I live for it. I don't care. That's why I loved you so much on the show. You were afraid to say anything.
Oh, that's because it was so funny. What the irony of all that? They were all sitting there basically saying my outfit was bad, and I wasn't saying anything. And the minute I said something, it was like, "Oh, how dare you!" It was like, and which was what happened in this episode. Exactly the same thing happened in Untucked this week with the girls, with Mistress and Marta. Same scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that Mistress is getting hate for that, because she was just giving her opinion. It was just her opinion. It wasn't hateful.
Exactly.
She didn't say she didn't untalented. She just didn't like that particular outfit, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Why is it okay to not like something?
It's okay.
It's fashion. It's gonna be subjective or objective.
Yeah. It also it's
100%.
It's so funny. It's so funny because Mistress gave an opinion on the outfit, right? And then the people that will send hate to her, they will be on everybody's comment section saying boot to every outfit. No. So it's like, you can hate on something, but Mistress can't say she doesn't like something. It's so interesting to me.
It's the irony of the trolls. They troll us. We're on a TV show. We're giving you entertainment, but it's okay for them to do the same to you and have an opinion. You're doing exactly the same. You're hating our behaviour, but we're not allowed to have an opinion on an outfit. Like, it's actually the same thing. It's really weird to me. The fan base, I don't know what they can do about it, but something, I don't know how you can fix it though. Is it fixable? Do you think, the fan base?
I think, I don't think it's fixable, but it might be a way to just mellow it down, I feel like. But at the end of the day, anything that gets popular and has a younger fan base, there's bound to be people way too passionate about it, taking it way too seriously.
But sending death threats, what is that?
That's crazy.
I even got some of those. It's but I didn't take anything to it. It was only it wasn't very many, but it was why would you even take the time to do that? And they always come from a burner account. They always come from a burner account.
Yes. And I can't imagine, because you guys were on the show and you get death threats and stuff, and I'm not even on the show, not associated with the show, nothing. And I've gotten so much death threats because of my TikToks or something, and it's crazy to even imagine how much more it must be for you guys. It's crazy to even think of it.
I think for us it's because it's not like it's our work and it's our craft. It's like, I would use Survivor again as they're just people who have a job that go on a show. But this is our art, and what we do is it's our life. It really is our life. And so when people start doing that, it's actually super cruel. It's so cruel.
Yeah.
I don't care if you don't like. You know what? You can say anything you like about my drag. That's fine, but don't start attacking me as a person. That's the thing. That's the bit.
I think maybe if thinking in a consulting headspace, how to actually improve the fandom, I think it should be discussed more on the show, not on and on All Stars, because those people have already experienced the issues. But it shouldn't be in an Untucked. It needs to be on the main show that everyone's watching, because not everyone else watches Untucked. And also, I think Rue and Michelle need to come out and just say to the camera not to do these things. It's a TV show at the end of the day. Break the fourth wall with this issue and really, I think that would be the best way to, I guess, nip it in the bud, because yeah, there are trolls, but then also there are children that are seeing like actions online and ways of talking and buzzwords, and they might be trying to be positive or negative, but sometimes either way turns out to be impacting the queens in a negative way. I think we just need to set the right example for the young people, the youth, and then also nip the bud of these terrible trolls online that are old. Or like, I think it just needs, they just have to break the wall and address it. Head on.
And to all those trolls out there, don't tag the queens in it. That's fine. Have your opinion, just don't tag them.
That part.
Yeah.
That's the bit that tag you.
It's disgusting.
It's the tagging. If you've got the opinion, we won't see it if you don't, unless we go look for it. And you've told, I only read comments that come to my feed and that are on my feed. I don't go looking for it. Like, I would never go to Reddit. Oh, my God.
Or keep that thing in your circle, like on your Twitter circle, like private way. Like, keep that in there.
Oh, I don't know how to do that.
We can teach you.
We can teach you.
Yeah. I'm funny.
Should we move on to the Twitter questions?
Yeah. Oh, yes, please.
Okay, cool. So we've got about 8 or 9 questions that we're going to go through.
I put one question in bold, by the way.
I did see that one, and don't worry, I wouldn't forget that question.
Okay.
You'll see what it is later. I'll tell you which one's in bold when we read it.
Okay.
Or maybe you'll be able to guess.
Okay.
So, first question's about the Snatch Game. So besides the Ellen bit, is there anything you would have changed about your approach to Drag Race Down Under Season 2?
The Snatch Game, or just my whole experience?
Yeah, probably your whole experience. I definitely read that wrong the first time. And
okay. What would you know what's so funny, because I kept a diary and would go respond, don't react to things that have happened, but I was so reactive I didn't take my own advice. I think I just don't know. I wish I wasn't so reactive to people. Do you know what I mean? But it made for great television at the same time. Like a conundrum. But for me as a person, I haven't had a fight since I've left Drag Race. And that's...
Let's change that now.
Okay. So I would try to be less reactive. You know what they didn't show, which I wish they did show, is the kind moments I had with people like Spanky and Kong. Like, you saw a little bit of it. You know how I was so happy with Spanky won the acting challenge? And Kong and I worked together in the roast, and Kong was really struggling that night. We got to stay up all night and work on our roast. And I really helped Kong. And Kong even said, and even Michelle said, we need more people like you, Minnie, in the community. So they didn't show the both sides of me. Because I am a really supportive person to people that are likable.
Yes, I love that. What is a challenge that you would want to see on Drag Race Down Under Season 3?
I reckon they should do the lunch brunch again. I thought that was really fantastic and really unique. I thought it was really good, and you get to see people's personalities in that. I think you got to know a lot of us through that roast. I think that was probably the best episode of the season, actually, the roast.
Adding to that question, is there any Sydney drag-based challenge that I think would be great, or something that would reflect a lot of Australian drag?
Well, they sort of the group challenges is what reflects our drag, really. That's a challenge I wish I got to do, was actually the group challenge, actually, with the girls, because I was hoping to be in a group with Yuri, because Yuri didn't dance, and Yuri and I got along quite well. And I wish I got to do the reading challenge. They were the two things I wish I got to do. My reads were good.
Tell us one.
Hannah Kondo, you've done great work the last 2 years. It's more than I can say for your plastic surgeon. What was
that's really good.
Yuri Guy, I know you young kids love to beat your face, but why do you have to beat it with a baseball bat? Aubrey had left.
I love that.
Aubrey had left by this point, but Yuri had said her makeup was a bit ashy. And I said, I know we have raging bushfires down under, Aubrey, but I don't understand why your makeup's so ashy.
Oh my God.
The reading challenge is really tricky. I think it is a generational thing with reading as well. I think older queens are much better at it. I think we are much better at it.
No, I can see that for sure.
I agree. I would agree.
Yes.
So,
because
Yeah, I think the hosting challenge is a really good one for Down Under season.
Right. I think that's also a challenge that's applicable to like how well you do in the actual workspace as a drag queen.
Yeah, and it's
As
what
drag
we
queens
do.
host,
It's actually a job that we do. We host. That's the one thing about Sydney Australian drag. We do cover lots of different things. That's why Hannah is so strong. That's why she's so good at lots of different things.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this next question is very important. Okay. Marry, kill from your season.
Oh, God.
This one was the one that was bolded by Nidu.
Marry, kill. Who would I? Oh, God. Pamara.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, that was a lie. No, I'd kill Pamara. I'd Beverly, and I'd marry Yuri.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, okay.
That's cute.
Yuri's the best. Yuri's my favourite. Yuri's so shady. You don't even see how shady she is. Shouldn't you own Miss Reality? I just think, how's that possible?
Oh my God, that's so funny.
This is because we did the tour, and Yuri took this hideous photo of me. I said, "Oh, Yuri, why did you take that hideous photo of me?" You go, "I've got to keep you humble, Minnie."
I love Yuri.
Oh, Yuri's the
best. So what were your top 3 and bottom 3 looks that you or your cast did on Down Under season 2?
Oh, okay. Oh, God. Top 3. I won't include myself in any of these. I loved Hannah's moth look. Yuri's, whatever he was, the green thing. What was he? It wasn't a moth. What was Yuri?
Oh yes, I know exactly what you're saying. It was I don't know the animal.
It was what Molly and Yuri were the same. I can't think of the insect.
Butterfly? No.
That wasn't I was the butterfly.
Yes.
Dragonfly?
It's like a dragonfly. It was something like that. It was. Can't think of it. It's
like I know exactly.
I keep thinking grasshopper, but it wasn't a grasshopper. And also Yuri's chain look. They were my top 3 looks.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Oh, the Yuri's chain look. Oh my God, I loved it. I thought it was fabulous. And bottom. Oh God, that's tricky.
Oh, you gotta pick 3.
Bottom. Oh, God. What my bottom? Oh. I have to say Hannah's looky-likey outfit. I didn't like that. Or Molly's. Didn't like that. Like the looky-likeys. Yeah. They were probably the weakest 2. And I'm trying to go through the everyone's looks were pretty good. I actually like most looks. They were probably the weakest looks of the season for me.
Oh.
Oh, and probably hate to say I love your Spanky, but Spanky's.
Oh, yes. You can't forget that one.
Oh, I love that. Was your most iconic look of the season. I did love that. Sorry,
the more I think about it,
those questions.
I don't know if I've gotten used to that look, but the more I think about that, I actually like it.
As a concept, I think it was one of the stronger concepts.
Yeah.
Like, really, I actually thought it was one of the stronger. It's just that it started falling apart and she didn't have pants. And I think that was the downfall of everyone. I should have been in the bottom for that challenge, but I think because they didn't have pants, they saved me.
That's true.
Love the challenge.
Yes. So, our last question we have from our audience that we haven't already answered and discussed is, so we mentioned earlier about how you were already inspired since you were 4 years old to do drag, but were there any queens that you took inspiration from growing up and getting into the drag scene?
Well, it's interesting that you asked that question because we did that question in our Meet the Queens. Was one of the questions who your inspiration was. And all the people who were a bit older, I said people like Ann Miller, Judy Garland, or old Hollywood movies. Yeah. So I was more inspired by pop culture than drag queens, which is very different. When now, which I think is really great, people like Beverly, they're inspired people like Violet Chachki, and because they get to see themselves represented, which I think is really great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it is a generational thing, very much so.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So we're going to move on and talk and discuss this week's Snatch Game on season 15. you'd think, oh, this is going to feel like the longest Snatch Game ever, but they cut it so short that it really didn't feel like anything at all.
It's like, because what did you miss? You don't have Rue Mail, you don't have Rue doing the walkthrough. It all just is like, there's a lot of things. You don't even see them deliberating either. They just went straight from no deliberation.
It just, there's some aspects of it that I'm personally glad that we cut down a little bit on the filler to get to an hour, but it hurts when they cut important things like room mail, literally walkthroughs, and the runway length, like the duration of your runway and deliberations, like such important things that are key to the show have just been nixed for the 60-hour slot.
Do you think they'll
especially when they got T.S. Madison now?
Yeah.
As like a recurring guest, and they cut all the judges part. I'm like, ugh, T.S. Madison, I would like to see more of her.
I think the irony that I'm the one that's talking about Snatch Game episode, I think the irony of that's quite funny.
Oh, yeah.
Now you can tell us what not to do. You're
what
the
not
best.
to do. Don't have conflict just before you're about to do the Snatch Game. That I would recommend. Snatch Game's really hard. I think that's why I think Lucy, when she did Joan Rivers, like she did all Joan Rivers jokes, which is a good thing, but really was she bringing her own creativity? I personally like it, but there's two schools of that actually. Some people think she should bring her own material, but I actually think it was really smart, and that's why she won.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
Definitely.
I'd love to know.
I really applauded Lucy. I think Lucy was so smooth when talking with Rue and doing her improv. Like, I think that's so important to the game, is just literally going with the flow and just not caring how crazy something is and just being able to bring right back the craziness to Rue and get her to laugh.
I know, and isn't that funny? I thought, like, because there was something I wanted to do, because you know how Ellen's supposed to be a bit of a bitch. Cut that out. You're problematic.
Yeah.
Spoke to me first, and I sort of said piss off, like saying it, but he didn't give me a yes in improv, so it really threw me. I was like, oh, I can't be Nath Ellen. So then I had to quickly do a 360 and try to bring it around. So my train of thought where I was heading, I didn't get to go that way. So that's part of why my Snatch Game threw me a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah.
And there's no laughter. There's absolutely, it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do. And as a comedian, you rely on audience reaction to know how you're going or whether to keep going with something. It's real tricky when you don't have an audience. It's one of the most difficult things I've ever done.
Yeah.
Really hard.
But so what did you think, since you got to experience the Snatch Game not just directly, you got to experience it a lot later than these queens. What did you think of the Snatch Game being so early and having so many queens involved?
It was actually at the same time, actually. We because
but less queens to work with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, yes. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I think. Do you know what? I think they all did really good. To be honest, even the twins, as much as they were involved. Like, that's the thing about Snatch Game. Oh, I don't know. I think I'm the worst person to talk about this.
We love that. We love the chaos.
Because I can empathise with, like, and it's so hard to know. You know who was actually my favourite was Rosie O'Donnell, Mistress. She was my favourite.
Oh yes, that was great.
And what I loved about her. It was completely unique, and the way she went into Abby Miller, it was just gold.
Yeah.
I thought she was genius. Who else?
That was so funny.
And you know who else I thought was really funny was Tan Mum, Amethyst.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. It really surprised me.
Really surprised me. The only thing I didn't like about her is that I thought she was being a bit mean-spirited with the twins. It felt like she was, oh, don't touch me. That felt real. It didn't feel like it was acting.
Yeah.
That felt a bit mean-spirited.
No, definitely. Yeah. And, I mean, it could just be the edit, but they did cut in that clip of Amethyst being like, they're so unprofessional. So it really did make it seem like not part of the character, but like how Amethyst was feeling at the time.
Yeah, and they were... What about when the twins Sugar? She just kept talking and wasn't listening to Rue. I was like, oh, poor thing.
Yeah.
That was very...
It was funny. It was funny to watch.
Yeah.
You know, oh, stop talking. Stop talking.
I think it's so interesting though. Like Sugar and Spice, their references were like very niche, I think, for the general population, but for people, since I think Sugar and Spice are either my age or like maybe a year younger or older than me,
Yeah.
I caught the references. They were deep cuts, but I got them. That fight between them where they were like bottle blood, blah 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 blah, blah. That's literally from Hannah Montana. That's from Hannah Montana with like Hannah Montana and Selena Gomez when she guest starred as like Hannah Montana's arch nemesis.
No idea.
Yeah, no, very deep cut, and yeah, I think.
So did you find that funny?
No, but I did understand the reference. So it was like, you know, they were pulling references, they just weren't landing at all.
Yeah,
but I appreciated the like hints and things, how they're very much like referencing their childhood in their drag, you know, it tracks, you know.
Yeah,
like referencing is one thing, but then taking that reference and, you know, putting it in a joke, that's what makes it funny.
Yeah, and that's
you're just saying the reference.
Yeah.
And that's somebody already did it and we already laughed at it like years ago.
Yeah.
Now you're saying it again.
And it's sort of like reinventing the wheel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who is Trisha Paytas? I don't even know.
Oh my gosh. An icon.
Oh.
The most somehow hasn't been like fully canceled yet.
Wow.
Like
never heard.
They are a YouTuber who Anita, how do you explain Trisha Paytas? I don't.
Okay,
she a troll?
Trisha's main thing is just she's trolling. Being herself. But she's like a troll, and I guess she's kind of mellowed down now in terms of like how she is, and she's funnier. But when she started, I guess she thought she was a comedian because she was doing like these characters where she was playing a Japanese woman in yellowface, and she was like really, she was not the best. And now she's kind of mellowed down, and it's just people find her funny.
Okay.
Where it's like whatever she does, it's kind of like a
she does anything and everything. If you take a look at, like, for example, it'll probably be easier to digest since it's shorter. If you go to her TikTok, it's like, oh, a haul of Starbucks cups, and then the next thing is mukbang. The next thing is like a Burger King themed ASMR, and then like, you know, she does anything and everything.
Do you know what? Remember, Sugar would have been better of doing Reese Witherspoon in Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
that would have been cute.
Like done Reese Witherspoon, but done like something like, I think with a bit more of an out. That's where I think Sugar went wrong. But you know what? I don't mind people doing people I don't know. But if they're not funny, it doesn't. You've got to be really funny. Like I didn't know who Bimini was when she did her Snatch Game in UK. I had no idea, but I thought she was hilarious.
Katie Price.
Yeah, I had no idea who Katie Price was, but thought it was hilarious.
Right.
That's true.
So on this note of talking about people's Snatch Games, who is your favorite Snatch Game character and who is your least favorite?
My favorite was Mistress, I have to say as well. I thought, as much as I loved Lucy, Mistress was my favorite. And in coming close second was Amethyst, to be honest. And my worst Snatch Game, I'd have to say, was Sugar. And I love them, like absolutely adore them.
Yeah.
You know? And they're like the main character. I'm sad to see. Yeah, the main character. It's like so sad. Well, I suppose we've still got Sugar. Do you think Spice? Sorry. Do you think Spice is going to spiral without her brother?
That's a good question.
I think so.
I think so.
I feel like it's because, you know, they've done everything together. They like literally started drag together. They prepared for the show together. So I guess it does feel jarring that like one of them is not there. But at the same note, they probably already thought about that scenario, maybe that one of us would, you know, might not last long as the other one.
I have a question for you. You know, in Untucked, when they were sitting there and go, if one of us goes, both goes. Do you think that was just a knee-jerk reaction? You know, when you're a bit upset, you say things that you don't actually mean. You knee-jerk.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think also, we have to take into consideration they're not just siblings, they're twins.
Yes.
And the level of connection of twins is so much stronger than a traditional sibling. So it's like you do everything, like you think the same, like you're on the same path. Like twins just like do everything if they're apart, they're constantly texting or calling each other. Like, so I think that was the most emotional you could ever see. siblings on the show.
Oh,
And so maybe
100%.
they definitely probably were in the moment saying like, if one goes, the other goes, because it's just like so hard to be apart from your twin. But I'm glad that they made the decision to like
me too
have Sugar go and Spice go, because I really want to see Spice like progress, and I want to see her drag. So like,
and
you don't like
she's
Sugar?
strong. I love Sugar. I prefer Sugar. I like Sugar's aesthetic better, actually, because I'm a girly pop, but I appreciate both.
Spice.
Oh my god, putting words in my mouth every episode, I swear.
I do that to people too.
Yeah. One day I'm gonna get Nita back. I'm just too nice.
We'll see.
I gotta train myself.
We'll see.
But in saying that, having Spice still there, Sugar still gets to stay because their legacy will always be together.
Right.
True.
Right.
That is
regardless
true.
how if Spice gets to the end, so will Sugar, really, because they'll reap the rewards. They're the most memorable thing from the season. Like I just adore them, and I love how vulnerable they were talking about their shame. Like shame is such a big thing in our culture, and for them to express their shame so honestly at such a young age, it took me not to my late 40s to talk about my shame. So I really admire them, young queer people, talking about their shame like that. I thought it was really, really powerful. I thought it was a great bit of television.
Yeah. I'm so glad we got to see the twins humanized. It really I think it's going to change a lot of opinions.
Yeah, because I think they're very polarizing too, because they have such strong opinions, but I can just tell they're just good kids. Like I came to be the kids. Well, I'm old enough to be their father. But it's just, I really adore them and their commitment to drag, and you can just tell they have such a passion for it, and I love that.
I love it. And sorry.
With that being said, though, twins, I will say this every episode, scare me. Twins scare me because
you watch too many horror movies.
No, it's because my uncle, my dad, like my uncle is a twin, and he and his sister, they were born like 11 minutes apart or something, and they're weird. They're really weird, and I don't know if I should be talking about them like this, but they're very weird. It's like when one of them gets hurt, other one just knows, and she calls, and it's like, did you just get hurt in your hand? And it's just so creepy. That's like creepy.
So we talked about favorite and least favorite. Is it, if I phrase it differently, would you have different answers? Like, so if I said who is the most boring and who had the most interesting choice, like would it still stand as Sugar and Mistress, or would it be different?
Well, that's interesting you said. Well, I definitely Mistress, because she made really great choices and they were really unique.
Yeah.
Do you know who I thought could have done a bit more with theirs? Was Jax as Mona Lisa, because I'd actually thought about doing that. Because you know how there's talk that Mona Lisa was actually a man? Did you know that? Yeah.
No.
There's talk that Mona Lisa was actually a man, so I'm talking in a really deep voice. There's a theory that Mona Lisa was actually a man, not a woman. So there's all this history about Mona Lisa, the model. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can do so much backstory about Mona Lisa. You can create your own narrative. It's like, that's what I loved about Virgin Mary. As much as I think in Land or a lot of it, you can create a backstory about these people. They're so famous. And that's why I think also too, Amethyst was quite good as Tan Mum. I had no idea who Tan Mum was, but she was hilarious.
Exactly.
Okay. Just sorry. Where do you stand on queens doing fictional characters that they make up, like Gordon Ramsay's sister? Like, where do you stand on that?
I think it's a great idea, but she didn't take it far enough. But if you're going to do a made-up character, then you've got to be. I think you've got to be really, really good. It was funny. They didn't show this. So I don't know if I can talk about this. When they did, they talked about Spanky Jackson being the other Jackson forgotten sister, and how funny would that be as Snatch Game? Do you know what I mean? It would be such a great Snatch Game character. And Spanky was really funny with her replies as the sister when they did the walk. I don't think they showed that, did they, on our season? Did they?
I don't think they did.
No, they didn't. It was really, really funny. So I think Snatch Game is a free for all. Whatever you can do to make funny, if you can make it funny, go for it. I reckon because it's so
Right.
it is so difficult.
Uh-huh.
I don't even know the rules of how to make Snatch Game work. I couldn't even tell you. I was so bad.
Yeah. No.
You just got to be really quick.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly. So moving on to the runways, we're gonna do our 8 or regurgitate. The theme this week was Beautiful Nightmare.
Yes.
And
So-
caution again, since the episodes are so short, they don't post official photos on Instagram. We had to rely on people taking screenshots of the runways, and so pictures might not be the best. Thanks to drag.looks on Instagram that provided all these
Yes.
pictures.
Did they not show
Thank you
their
for doing
runways
what you
on
did.
their Instagram?
Mm-mm.
They don't. So we
Wow.
try to keep it fair. So instead of using photo shoots that the queens do, because then you can enhance that, right? So we try to keep it like from the runway. So they
Okay,
don't
yep.
post like the photos that they.
Yeah, gotcha.
All right. So first up, we have Amethyst as Lady Gaga. What do you think, Minnie?
I'm just a bit disappointed, to be honest, because I think you had the opportunity to show your creativity. It's not a night of 1,000 Gagas. For a night of 1,000 Gagas, I think it's really great. I actually think it's a great look, but I think it was a missed opportunity for her. That's what I think. So it's a regurgitate for the fact that it wasn't showing us her creativity. That's the bit that I find that's for me. And I actually really loved her in the Snatch Game.
Yeah. She I think she would have been in the top if not for this like runway.
Yeah.
I think she said she thought blood and that would be like the nightmare part, but the thing is like it's not. I don't think it fits the bill. Like it doesn't fit the theme.
It's not the brief. But then I'm being devil's advocate here. Maybe because Drag Race is so expensive, this is maybe something she already had and it fit the theme. That might be of her thinking, which I get as well. But we as an audience judging in a competition, you tend to go, why did you do that? And that might have been her thinking. Like there's things I've heard about other girls' looks that I've heard them say, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense, because I think, which we will get to.
Yeah, definitely.
So do you think it's an 8, a regurgitate, nibble? What do you think?
What's nibble?
I say nibble.
Yeah, I say
nibble's like I don't want to say regurgitate, but I'm not.
I'll give it a nibble.
Yeah, I agree. It's a nibble for me.
Same.
Because she does look fabulous. If it was an 1,000 Gagas, she would have done great.
Oh yeah, she would have ate that.
Yes. Next we have Anitra.
Okay, trend alert, spiders.
So true.
So true, isn't it? And you know what? I probably would have chose spiders as well because I've always wanted a spider dress.
Oh my god.
Oh. Okay, I don't do drag, but if I was doing Beautiful Nightmare, that'd be right up my alley because I love horror.
Yeah.
I would have done something so bad that they had to blur it on TV. Something really horror. Like I'm not even kidding. It would have been something crazy.
Yeah.
But with that being said, this look, I don't think it's as at the level that Anitra does. This is not my favorite, like the look that she presented.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think the hair lets it down, to be honest. Just having a plain ponytail. I think that if the hair was elevated, this look would be better. But I really love the dress.
Yeah.
I really love it.
Agreed. I really like the dress.
Really
and I'll eat it for that, you know.
Yeah, me as well. I think the hair could have been elevated, if anything. But I love the earrings. I love the neck piece. I love her makeup. It's absolutely beautiful.
Stunning.
She's actually one of my favourite queens, actually. She's one of my top 3, actually, to make it to the end.
Yes, we love her.
Anitra, she gets a bit. What do I say to be good again?
8.
Yeah, 8.
Yeah, I ate it.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'll say nibble.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're tough.
I know, because it's horror themed. That's why I'm like. Otherwise, I'm very lenient. I don't. Amanda is like rolling her eyes. No.
No.
Yeah, I would have loved to.
To clarify for listeners, I'm not rolling my eyes.
Somebody's already done Freddy Krueger. I would have loved to have done Freddy Krueger because I've always loved.
Oh,
I agree.
I remember that runway with Crystal Method. That was so
Yeah,
good.
which
That
has
was.
been done.
I'll come to that later, actually, when we talk about what's her name, Lucy,
Okay,
because
yeah.
I have thoughts.
Okay.
Yes. But next we have Aura Mayari. Stunning. I have so much to say about this.
Go.
Okay,
Yeah.
so first off, Troy is an incredible designer who makes a lot of these runways for a lot of queens like Silky, Trinity. Incredible designer in LA, and he does a lot of 3D stuff and spray paint. And I really, really love this look. I am so upset because you know darn well Aura went down that runway so glamorous where you can't see anything, and she just looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And then she chokes and turns around, and then you see the nightmare portion of it. And I think like the theater of that, and knowing that we didn't get to see the full thing and we literally just saw her turn around, it cuts to the judges, didn't even get to see the full take, was so upsetting.
Yeah.
But I hope that the audience and people still understood that concept, because I thought it was fantastic and she looks gorgeous.
And yes,
Devour for me.
I got exactly that concept. As much as it's a shame you don't get to see the glamorous. And it's actually so funny that a lot of these looks, like Yuri sort of wore a look like this to our premiere for Drag Race Down Under. Yuri sort of did a similar look. It reminded me of that. And I really love this look. It's definitely, I ate it. I thought it was stunning. Beautiful.
Yeah. I agree. I think she looked. This fit the brief so well with like the beautiful and the nightmare. So I think she ate this. Yeah, I'm not being biased, by the way, viewers, because people think that me and Amanda are being biased to Aura because Aura is Amanda's friend. But no, this was genuinely so good.
And you're allowed to be biased. That's what friends are meant to be.
Right.
Friends. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I support that.
Thank you. No, you just gave me permission to be.
We gotta talk about her expressions, though. We gotta talk about her expressions, though. It's going viral.
Yeah. Aura does make these faces all the time, so it was not a surprise to me, but I guess it was to the rest of the world. I thought she was so funny, and I wonder if she screamed out loud or if she had to do it silently. I always think about that when people make like expressions and stuff on camera.
Yeah, I wonder if she made noise, because sometimes they can cut that out, you know?
Yeah.
That's true.
I kind of hope she did scream, because I think that'd be fun.
So beautiful, like that wig. Stunning. Beautiful face.
So pretty.
Perfect. Next we have Jax. What do we think? Snaky.
Who's going to go first?
Okay. A little context. I grew up watching. I grew up in South Nepal, but grew up watching a lot of Indian television shows, like soap operas. And there's a big trend in like South Asian TV shows about snakes, shape-shifting snakes, where snakes turn into women. And this looks like something right out of a show like that. And I don't mean this as a compliment. I don't want to be rude, but it just doesn't fit the. I mean, I this is the nightmare. Like, this is the nightmare part. Does it well, but I don't think it does the beautiful part. It's the bodysuit thing that I don't like. But
For me, I didn't even realize that it was like a nude illusion until I looked at these pictures.
Yeah, neither did I, actually, because it's so funny. Kong wore something very similar on Drag Race Down Under for the swimwear.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost identical, actually. I think, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
It is.
That's true.
It's very similar, isn't it? And the hair, they must have had the same reference, actually, because it's spookily too similar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I love the makeup. I think the makeup is fantastic.
Yeah, very.
And at least she was spooky. She had spooky, but the body is beautiful. So the body beautiful with a spooky face.
Yeah. This was a nibble for me.
A nibble? I'm going to eat this. I actually really like it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to
because I can see the technical side of it. That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And before people come at me, it's just personal, okay? Like, I just think of those shows, and it just doesn't read as, I don't know, it just doesn't read good to me. But other than that, this is nibbled. I love Jax, though. Like, I love her.
Yeah,
look.
give it up for Jax. I'm a supporter of Jax. She's had a rough week
Yes.
last week as well, so give us some.
Yeah, I like Jax a lot.
Crazy.
Next, we have Lucy LaDuca.
Okay. I have thoughts.
Go.
So
Okay.
when Crystal, like, I love. First of all, let me start by saying I love Lucy, and
I love Lucy.
let me start by saying, and I think this look is good. I'm not gonna say it's bad. Like, I really enjoy this because I'm a horror fan. I wear like Friday the 13th hoodies all the time, so I love this, and I love that a queen who also loves slasher movies like me. But when Crystal did Freddy Krueger, it kind of, when you looked at it, you knew it was Freddy Krueger, and the essence of it stayed. You know, like with her making it fashionable. And this, the mask is Jason. Everything else doesn't tell me that it's Jason. And I get that it's the feminine, vibe that she's going for. It just, I wish that she had added like one more element. Maybe she had like a machete with her as a purse, like a machete purse, or
yeah.
like Jason has spines in the back, like later as the movie series progresses. Maybe there was spine in her like outfit when she turned around. Just that one more element would have made this much more Jason-y, because take the mask off and I don't see Jason.
Oh yeah, I can see what you mean there.
So
it's a bit
for
more,
me, it was a nibble.
It reminds me a bit more of Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, to me, to be honest.
Honestly, I see that.
I don't really watch horror movies. I'm kind of the exact opposite of Nidu. So, I saw the mask and I'm like, yeah, that's definitely from a movie, but I didn't really pay much attention to it. I really liked the outfit, though. I thought it was really cool. And, maybe she didn't even need the mask, and then it could just be its own original concept. And I enjoyed it as someone who didn't have references to really like think hard about. So I thought it was an 8 for me.
Yeah, it's an 8 for me as well. Do you know what? You take the mask away and it could be anything, really, isn't it? Like, I agree with you there 100%, but I still think it's a really great look. Very well constructed. The makeup's fabulous. Yeah, I like it. It's an 8 for me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. Next, we have Lux Noir London. What do we think?
Can I just say, she makes me laugh so much.
Yes.
Yes, I love Lux.
Nothing makes me laugh more than I'm top safe. I was second. We've got the winner. I was second. You were third. Like, all that just means you don't. You're not a judge. You're not a judge. You actually choose. It's so funny to me. It's so funny. Mm-hmm. But
I love her confidence.
Yeah, me so too. Like,
it's so fun.
So much fun. It actually just makes me laugh. Like, it really makes me laugh. And confidence, you know who I think is the most confident person in the room? Is Sasha Colby.
Oh, yeah.
Confidence is quiet. Confidence is quiet for me. Love her, by the way. The only thing I don't like about this, I wish she'd coloured her legs the same colour, but apparently she couldn't get grey tights. It's the only thing, but she brought that up online. But why didn't she not wear tights and just colour her legs with a paint? That's what I don't get. She could have worn no stockings.
That's true.
Maybe it was fitted to the point with the pads that it would have looked less fitted without the padding. Or does she pad?
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Can you tell if that's padded in there?
It doesn't look like
I don't think that's padding.
I don't think that's padding either.
I don't think so either. So yeah, I do see what you mean then. Yeah, if you're not padding, then why?
Yeah.
But
love the concept.
Yeah.
This is one of the strongest conceptual looks, I think.
I agree.
The
story behind it.
Yeah, the story. The thriller auditions are next door. Love that.
Yeah, I also really like this. And to me, because I didn't know the backstory behind the tights, I just thought it was like she was becoming the zombie. So it was like you're starting to like become that color.
Yeah.
And like, because she had just been like tied up and stuff. So I thought, oh, maybe this is like the start of the beautiful nightmare happening. Like the nightmares coming and the beautiful is in the bottom part.
Yeah.
That was my interpretation, my own. Like, yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was an 8.
Yeah, it's an 8
I
think
this is an 8. Yeah.
And that's what I love about artistry, or even innuendo. Everybody can bring their own concept to something you say or in a look. That's what I love about it. And this is artistry. Like, it really is.
Yeah.
Love it.
Also, like, since the runway is like so short, I feel like the theatrics and the dramatic we probably didn't get to see, which probably
Right.
would have sold the look even more.
Yeah, I agree with
Which,
you.
like, in her crawling and dragging. But I think this was really good. This was really strong.
Really strong. It's a shame she couldn't get great
Mhm.
fights. But your Amanda, what you said, I agree with as well. When you look at it like that, it still works. It's really fabulous.
Yeah. Thank you. Next we have Malaysia baby doll Fox.
I love this, but is she looking the same every week?
Yeah, we discussed the wig last week with the horns. We were like, is this just like 2 horns in a row, like by coincidence, or is this like her thing? And I think this week has kind of established that the horns are her thing.
Gotcha. Okay, I can buy it.
That's what I got from this look.
Yeah, but it's really beautifully made. Like, beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's a nibble for me because what's almost a neat? Oh, nibble, a nibble. It's a nibble.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it. I don't see the nightmare part of it. That's the bit I don't get. I think it's a beautiful, but I don't think it's a nightmare.
Yeah, she did that a little bit on the makeup, but I don't think it really reflects. Like, I don't see the story behind. Like, everybody has like a stronger concept, and this isn't like stronger in concept. But I, since her background is like pageant and everything, I also love when a big girl does glamorous stuff.
Me too.
So I enjoyed it.
The makeup reminds me of like a vampy version of Pound Cake.
Yes.
The little doll.
Oh yes.
Little
Miss Pound Cake.
But yeah, it was a nibble for me. But if the category were different, it would have totally been an 8. I
Yeah, I agree.
Michelle is right sometimes, or Michelle's right, if you can't see the concept very clearly on stage without an explanation, then it's harder to be judged, and but I think it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's so beautiful.
Maybe she could have done it where the bottom of like the gown is like black, so it's like looks like it's decaying, so that it's glamorous, but she's decaying. So, and her makeup also like reflects that, like her like deteriorating.
Took the words right. It needed to be a bit more deconstructive from the bottom coming into the top.
Yeah, but for
almost
me,
like an aging tree or something. I don't know.
Next we have Marsha. Now, I will acknowledge that the designer that wanted to do, like, that she partnered with to do the look couldn't fulfill
the
look.
This came out.
And this was made 24 hours in advance. I acknowledge that. However, I hate it. And I love Marsha, and I don't want to send hate to her specifically. And I saw the sketch online.
Okay,
this is the meanest thing I've ever said on the podcast.
Let's tell you really good.
Yeah, to me, this was just like, I don't know. It was a lab coat and a tie, and the hair was cool. Glasses were cool, but it wasn't anything. But I applaud it for being done in 24 hours. But it's still not like great.
It looks like an acting challenge look, doesn't it?
Right, yeah, or even a mini challenge.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It looks like something you wear in a mini challenge. Like, and knowing that, see, and I feel for her, I give her props for making something happen in 24 hours. Imagine going to drag race and someone says, I haven't got your dress. What do you do? Like, good on her for doing that. But it's definitely... What are you going to say?
It's a regurgitate for me.
What is it? Because I really like her. It's a
I love her too. And I think she's so clever. And I love what I've seen of her so far. It's just...
it's a regurgitate for me. But knowing the backstory, I really feel for her.
Same for me. I also think it's a regurgitate. With that being said, does anybody know what she said her reference was? Because... is she doing like the dentist from Little Shop of Horrors?
That's what I was thinking.
Do you know what?
I can't remember what she said in her post other than the 24 hours thing. I'm sorry, go ahead.
The best reference I've heard is the little girl from Finding Nemo with the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
isn't that the like?
okay.
That sort of.
Yeah.
I reckon. Oh yeah, that's spot on. You know, like that evil kid in Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I feel like she should have, because I know she came with the mouth guard thing, but if she had just done something more with like her face, then I would have honestly appreciated that.
Well, she wore makeup.
But even her makeup is like very, yeah, honestly, it's very like simplistic, I guess.
Next, we have Mistress Isabel Brooks.
Let me go down.
What do we think?
I think she could have done without all the silver and just wore the cat suit and that. She didn't need the caging.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think I loved her this week. She's actually one of my favourites.
Yes.
What's your thoughts? I just find this is all the cage and the neck piece a bit of an afterthought.
Yeah. Her Snatch Game was great. I don't understand this.
Yeah.
I don't get it. And I love Mistress. I think she's incredible. But
I think it's meant to be a web.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. It needed to be black. That's why it's confusing.
Yeah, I think it sticks out because it's light.
Because she's got spider earrings. That's why I said at the beginning, because she's definitely meant to be a spider. So that maybe it's meant to be a web. Okay, I'm liking
that. Makes more sense.
It makes more sense.
That does make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
I don't get it.
I feel bad because, you know, if she just went out in the cat suit, people would say you're just wearing a cat suit. And if you didn't add the webs, people would say like or when you add that webs, people are saying like it doesn't look right. I think it was probably just a coloring choice, you know.
Yeah,
maybe if it was like a little more gray, it would have kind of blended together better. But I also love Mistress. I think she's so cool.
Yeah, me too. I reckon get rid of the necklace and just have the web, because then it would have looked like a web on a waist. I think it's confusing because it's starting to look like a garment, where I don't think it's that tricky thing of not looking like a garment, but looking like a concept.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Now that I see it as a web, I actually like it a lot more. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an eat for me.
Personally,
I'll put that out.
Yeah.
It's a nibble for me. I think Mistress has not disappointed me before this, and this is kind of, I feel like, not her best, because I don't get it. Maybe there's some reference deep cut that I'm not getting, but I don't get it. So
next we have Robin Fierce.
Love this.
Yeah,
I think it's very Dior. It's a bit like my butterfly look, actually, that I wore on the show. Very
it is
very similar, like the hair and everything, the silhouette. But I love it. I love this. I
love this. I feel like Mistress and Robin may have been going for a similar vibe of like a Black Widow. Because when you mentioned the web thing, it reminded in the red and the black combination that Mistress wore. I was like, maybe they're a Black Widow in their web. But I see that as well with Robin. And I really like this version because it's like a beautiful Black Widow with like, it just gives spider, but like glamorous, and I don't know. I really, really, really like this.
And it's not so literal.
I
love it when it's not so literal.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's really great.
That kind of silhouette, like the bottom part of the dress going all the way poofy, that's my favorite thing in the world.
Same.
Just seeing like the shape. So I loved it immediately. As soon as she walked out, I was like, oh, this silhouette. I don't even care what she's doing. Like, just this one, I like it.
So glamorous.
Yeah, I think she ate this.
This is a devour for me. I really love it. I've loved pretty much every single Runway Robin has brought to the table.
Yeah, she's been really phenomenal, hasn't she? She's a bit like a dark horse, isn't she?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Really beautiful.
Beautiful.
I devour it.
Yeah. Yay. Next we have Selena Estides.
She's so funny. I can't work her out, actually. I'm kind of still trying to work her out.
Oh, I love her. I think she's so fun.
Apparently, she
is so fun.
I've heard she's a bit like Britta. Like Britta in New York, everyone loves her, but nobody liked Britta on the show. And Selena's getting a bit like...
Yeah. It's a shame because I think she's so funny.
Yeah, me too.
She is.
It's almost like she's the odd one out of them. So weird.
Yeah.
So weird. Do I love this? I'm not.
I
This is a nibble for me, for sure. I can't quite work it out. But I don't hate it.
Same.
Yeah, it's also noble for me. I get the concept since luckily she got to explain it in the voiceover from the
What did she
confessional.
say?
She said that she's eating the titties, right? And then also the nude stuff is supposed to be the skins of people that she ate, and she's wearing them as a dress.
She's doing Ed Gein. Okay, that makes
it's
sense.
a bit Hannibal Lecter, you know.
Yeah.
I rubbed the lotion on his skin.
Honestly, Hannibal Lecter, I had a crush on Anthony Hopkins ever since.
Oh, really?
I saw him as Hannibal Lecter.
Wow.
I still have a crush on him. Any Anthony Hopkins film that releases, I gotta see it. Like, I am obsessed
Did you
with
love
that
the
man.
film with Nicole Kidman and Anthony Hopkins, where Nicole played she was like was she like a student or something, but she was psycho? Have you seen that movie?
Yes. I forgot the name, but yeah, that's like two of my favorite people ever. Like,
yeah,
Nicole
you must have
Kidman
loved that.
I love it because my TikTok bio is Nicole Kidman lookalike. So
what was the idea? I don't really get why she's wearing a glamorous necklace.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's true. Why is she?
And that's what
I didn't even notice that.
It sort of takes you out of the look, because it's like this glamorous necklace on, yet everything else is deconstructed. I don't quite understand it. It's in nimble.
Maybe she stole it off the person that she ate, and she's like, you know what? I'll wear it.
Too funny.
Love it. All right, next we have Sasha Colby. This is something else.
This is so good.
It is perfection. So what can you say? There's perfection. I love that it was like a broomsticks down the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's like straw. Like, it's just, it is. She's just such an artist. It's just extraordinary. Love her. Devour, eat. What more can you say?
This one was devoured for me.
Yeah.
I don't think Sasha has had a bad runway. I mean, we've only been in 3 episodes, but I feel like so far she's understood like every assignment that she's had. And I want her to do a photo shoot with this look and do like a painting-esque of it. Her in like a middle of like a dark forest. All black background. She's in the middle and there's moonlight. I don't know who photoshops it, do it. Like, this is so good.
And how beautiful was she with the twins?
Oh, that was so wonderful. Like, that made me so happy.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. She's just so wonderful. And this look is just, it leaves you speechless, honestly. Like, it's beautiful and a nightmare. It perfectly encapsulated the theme.
Yeah, beautiful.
Like, everybody hyped her up, and it's the fact that she's like living up to that hype. That's what's so beautiful about it.
And do you know what I love about Sasha Colby as well? When she's in the workroom, not a skerrick of makeup.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? She's not scared of looking real.
Right.
I love that about her. Like, she's showing her the rawness of her, and I love that as well. I think it's really great. Especially for a trans woman. Do you know what I mean? To do that on television? It's great representation.
It's wonderful.
Really great.
So incredible.
Devour.
Yeah, devour.
Devoured.
Yes. Next we have Spice.
I love these two, but it looks like you bought these costumes from the costume shop.
Yeah.
Love them.
I love them, but I saw discourse on Twitter saying not that Sugar and Spice look like they bought their outfit from Spirit Halloween, but they were saying that about Aura. And to that I say, what drugs are you on?
What? They were saying it's
like,
no.
Yeah.
No.
I love them, and this is cute, and I can see where they're coming from, at least for Spice. I can tell this is probably, they took inspiration from the Monster High dolls. Since they love doll fashion. However, because of the way it's looked at and the fabric they chose, and it does look like you got it from a costume store.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. It's beautiful, but it's just like, not the runway for it.
Yeah, and that's right. Like, for a mini challenge, I think it's great. I hate to say that, but I love their aesthetic. I really love it. Like, it's weird. Like, I really love the outfit. Don't hate it, but in the context of Drag Race and the
Right.
Runway. I think it doesn't live up to the expectations. But also, too, should she have to spend thousands of dollars to do a runway? That's the other thing as well. It's like it's a real conundrum, isn't it? It's like
because most of these girls come from such small background, you know. Not everyone is Sasha Colby, who's had years and years of drag excellence, has been touring the world forever.
Yeah,
like, you know.
That's true.
But yeah,
and I think
it was a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I finished.
Oh yeah, I just like I don't want to give it a regurgitate because I like the outfits, but I just feel like, again, like you said, in this context, it's a regurgitate.
I'm going to give it a nibble because I think it's very well polished, but because it's not a regurgitate, because I don't hate it. I actually don't hate it.
Yeah, I love it.
I actually love it. If I was 20 years younger, it's exactly what I would wear.
Oh, we got Sugar.
And I feel the same. They're practically the same, just in different colours.
Yeah, I think this one's even more away from the beautiful Nightmare.
I love that she held the booger in her hand, though.
Yeah.
They're so cute. I just love them. I hate saying anything negative about them, really, because I just adore them.
Yeah, we don't want to get our Instagram banned.
Oh, do you get banned, do you?
No, because remember, Mistress got banned. I think, it's because she was saying something to Marsha. My bad. But Sugar and Spice has like a lot of fans, you know, you don't want to alienate them.
I love them.
So for that, I say they had the best look of the night.
And I just love their energy. I just love their passion for drag.
Me too. Yes.
It's like how much effort, how many TikToks do they do with different looks? I just adore them. Their work ethic is just extraordinary, and I'm into that.
So
yes, they're wonderful. So yeah.
What do you think?
Is this an 8 regurgitate? I again love the outfit, love the concept. Again, I feel like this is also the color palette and aesthetic of Monster High for a different doll, and I can totally see where they're coming from, as we grew up in the same pop culture as a kid in America. But again, it doesn't really go with the category. So, well, it does, but it's not enough for me. It's too much beautiful, not enough Nightmare.
Yeah.
So I didn't really like it.
It's a nibble for
me. But I love the outfit in general.
Oh, so you're saying you don't like Sugar and Spice's drag? Is that what you're implying?
Of all of our friends, I was the one who has seen the most Sugar and Spice on my For You page, and I had been following them forever. So I don't know. Think about that, Vita. Think about that. Did you know who they were? No.
I did not.
I did. So I'm a real stan.
I knew who they were. I didn't know their name was Sugar and Spice, but I knew I'd seen a lot of their TikToks because it comes through.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I only got their videos once they were announced.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Yeah.
That's because I don't know why it was weird. But.
So, Minnie, who had your favorite runway and who had your least favorite runway of the night?
Favorite runway was Sasha Colby, and least favorite runway, just because of conceptually, I'm going to say Amethyst.
Oh wow! So, is that what you're saying? Amethyst should be eliminated for that runway?
Putting words into people's mouths since 2020.
I know what it feels like, so I can say it. Does that give me the right to say it? More Heelys, it would have been so much better. Can we just talk about that? What about me skating everywhere at my elimination?
Oh, I love that.
So
that
skating
was so
everywhere.
Cool.
Skating everywhere. So funny. Sorry to make it about me. Oh, so funny.
No. We're interviewing you. It's about you.
Yeah.
Oh, too funny.
Yes.
My favourite Snatch Game was Mistress. And my bottom Snatch Game, I would have to say, was Sugar.
Now, with Mistress being your favorite, do you agree with the challenge when going to Lucy?
Actually, no. I think it should have went to Mistress because I think she was a bit more original. in my opinion. Just like, but Lucy winning, I'm not against that either because I thought she was really funny and did a great impersonation. Is it a Snatch Game an impersonation, or is it? That's the thing I'm still trying to work out. Is it an impersonation, or is it taking the essence of someone and making it your own?
Right.
It seems to chop and change. It doesn't seem to be really one directive. What did you really say? The best way for Snatch Game to make it work is taking a person and then putting your spin on it.
Yeah.
Which I think he's probably said in walkthroughs before, hasn't he? That's the trick. My lesbian from the Bellin didn't work.
Oh, it's okay. I'm Ellen.
Thanks very much. Isn't that funny? You thought it was so funny in the workroom, but did not find it funny.
Oh my god.
20 minutes.
Yes. And the bottom two for this episode were Sugar and Spice. What are your thoughts?
I loved.
Were we surprised?
No one was surprised. We all saw it. We knew I didn't think it was going to come this early, though. I didn't think it was going to come this early. But I adored their lip sync. I loved that it was choreographed and that you saw their kindredship. I adored it. It should have been a double Shantae, actually, in my opinion.
Oh.
What do you think? It's sunshine.
Oh, no, because I thought that was cute. I think having them, like, the fact that, I think because they knew that it was inevitable, it was going to come. So no matter what the song, I think they kind of had it already. Know what they were going to do.
Because with the song,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, because it all depends how long they had the songs for, though. Because they don't get them for very long. You don't get long to learn songs.
No.
True. I think they just had like a general, like, what we're going to do, and then work it out with, like, the song, I guess. But
do you think the right decision was
I think it was cute. With Sugar going home?
For me, it was hard to tell who to send home, given that it was completely choreographed and basically mirrored, and Sugar running to me, I thought that was intentional. I didn't think it was unintentional.
Yeah, so did I, actually.
But yeah, I guess I didn't want either of them to go home, though. That's the thing. I wanted to see more of them.
I'm such a big fan. But you know what? We'll see more of them. Definitely not the last of them.
They already had a huge platform before Drag Race. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, if it wasn't for if it wasn't Sugar and Spice, who would you put in the bottom, though? That's my question. Because people were saying that it should have been Aura and Sugar or Aura and Spice. And then a lot of people were saying, like, oh, Aura would have gone home. And I'm like, have you guys seen her perform?
Yeah.
She literally has performed for like more than 10 years in Nashville. She's,
no. She's not 10 years, no.
Not 10 years, sorry.
No.
10 years.
But she's performed for about 5 years in drag, but she's been a performer all of her life, done musical theater, is a hip-hop dancer. People are judging her based on the Let's Kill This Love talent show, which I guess if you don't know anything about Aura, that is a fair thing to do. However, she had torn a hamstring just a couple months prior to being on the show at play. Like, literally some idiot spilled a drink on the stage, even though you're not supposed to have drinks anywhere near the stage. And so she slipped and fell into a split, which she doesn't do splits. And had to be taken to the hospital immediately, was out of work for a long time. So it's like, considering that was pretty damn good. Like, she kind of crushed it for recovering. And also, if you think about it, you're not gonna, like, if that's your situation, why would you risk injuring yourself before you're even having to lip sync?
No, you wouldn't.
You know? And so people are just kind of silly. If you just take one look at Aura's profile, you just know she's a superstar. So...
Well, you could tell she was a superstar from her entrance.
Yeah, she's incredible. I love her. Like,
yeah. Like, my point being that I think no matter what, one of the twins was going to go home. Like, as much as I love them, it was kind of written on the wall. Yeah, and I get why they would put Sugar and Spice in the bottom so quickly, because either way, one of them was, sort of going home. So. I get it.
And I also think with Snatch Game, there's always going to be people in the bottom of Snatch Game. There's always going to be a select few. Because I think more people do do worse at Snatch Game than do better. Would you agree? It's very
True. I agree.
Yeah, so I think it's just picking straws, really. And I really think Snatch Game is an episode where they can really dictate who they want to send home. Like, I think the producers can have that choice, I think.
Mm-hmm.
True. And I'm just happy that the Sugar and Spice lip sync that we got wasn't like forced to happen. It just made sense. Like they both did bad and ended up in the bottom.
Yeah.
It wasn't like so,
I have a question for you, being Drag Race watchers. Can you tell much more now when producers are getting involved and when they're not? Do you think, as a viewer?
Oh,
100%. They're not subtle about it at all. Yeah, definitely.
It's very much, especially in like in US, it is obvious, but also like especially in international seasons, you can definitely tell, because I feel like some of the countries probably don't have like that many good reality show producers, so some of it's like very obvious.
Yeah,
it's like you can tell what they're trying to do.
Have you ever watched the show Unreal?
I have not.
Oh, I think it's Canadian, actually. It's a show. It's based around The Bachelorette, and it has The Bachelor, and it shows you the workings of reality television. You should look at it. It's called Unreal.
Oh,
and it gives you
like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, like the show.
Yeah,
like
it's based. They use it.
Oh my god!
Like The Bachelor, and they like the girl will be having a breakdown because they've not told her father has passed away, and they film that. But then they use it in the show as her having a breakdown and how they manipulate storyline and stuff like that. You would love it.
Ridiculous.
If you love reality television, you'll love it. Finding Prince Charming.
Oh yeah.
Where they?
There you go. I love both your reaction then. Oh, Finding Prince Charming. It was great. I loved Finding Prince Charming. Have you watched the Real Housewives of WeHo? What's it called? What's that show called that everyone's?
The Real Friends of WeHo. No, we turned that off, and we didn't even. Oh. All right, are we talking about the WeHo show that came on after this? Or are we talking about a different one?
Yeah.
Oh, turned that off immediately.
Really bad?
I was like, I'm not giving them a viewership, at all. Apparently, it's not great either for the people who did watch it.
Because they're not friends. It's fake. Like, those people are not real life friends. And the reason why the housewife... Yeah, like the housewife works because these women know each other even if they're not friends. Like they know each other, they know who they are, same circles. And these husbands, so one of them lives in Canada, for God's sake.
Brad, literally, Canada's Drag Race judge.
Yeah, have you watched?
So it's like they don't know.
Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
I've heard great things about it, but I haven't watched it yet.
Best of the franchise. Best of the franchise.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's so good.
I've seen Atlanta a little bit, but I've seen all, like, one that I watched was Dubai, which I know it's not loved, but I just loved the one of the housewives on it. She was really, her name is Chanel Ayan. She was so iconic. So that's the only housewife I've watched like in its entirety. But
watch Salt Lake. All the housewives are iconic, and it's the one with the Jen Shaw who's just got done in for ripping all those people off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you see that play out on real TV because she turns up they're going to go on a trip, and then the FBI show up, and it all happens in real time. It's great TV. Like, oh my god!
Oh my god!
Really good.
So you watch all of Housewives? Like, do you watch most of it, or?
I watch Beverly Hills. I was watching New York, and I love Jersey. I love Jersey because it's family. It's a real different dynamic because when you bring family, the dynamic is so different. And I love, and I was told by my friend Salt Lake City was the best, so I watched it and I loved it. It was really good.
You should talk to Eve. Have you been on Eve's podcast? Because Eve does a housewife recap with etc.
Yes, we have spoken about that. I'm not a big enough fan to comment on it. I don't think I do watch it, but I'm the type of, you know what's funny? I've watched every episode of Drag Race, but I couldn't tell you what's happening in half the seasons. What is that? I just don't remember. But people seem to remember everything. I'm like, how do they remember that? I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Do you remember everything from every franchise, or do you... No?
Oh, Nita's way better about it than I am. That's for sure.
Right.
That's kind of true. But I know, like, What? It is true. I mean,
No, it's amazing. I love it.
I know things that happen. I'm bad with names sometimes
Oh, me too.
because I called Sminty Drop. That's her name. I call Sminty Drop Sminty Fresh for like the longest time.
Oh, and Poppy Love recently. You've
Oh,
been
yeah,
calling
Poppy
Princess
Love.
Poppy.
It's just Princess Poppy.
Which isn't even like a queen from like the traditional franchise. That's from the most recent series of Secret Celebrity Drag Race.
The one good thing I feel like, because I have this thing about drag names, so it should be a name that you can remember straight away. That's why I think why I like Australian drag names, because they're all puns, so you remember them really quickly.
Right.
That's true.
I love a pun.
With I had to really correct myself when we were doing the pod with Beverly, because for the most part I used to call her Beverly Stills, which there's no S in her name. I didn't even tell her. I was so impressed. And in most of the videos, I had to go back and like re-record in my like Drag Race Down Under recap videos. I had to like go back and be like, it's Beverly Kills. It's not Beverly Stills. And there's no S in her name. Like, but Beverly Stills.
Funny how some people don't get the puns. Sometimes it's like Beverly Hills. Like people haven't got the pun of Beverly Hills. I was like, it's Beverly Hills.
Who is your top 4 of this?
My top 4 are Sasha Colby, Mistress, and it's between Lucy. I think is going to do well, and do I have and maybe Lux? Oh no! Anitra.
Yeah.
I was thinking, because you said it before, I was like, oh.
Yeah. So Anitra, Sasha Colby, Mistress, and I'm going. It's a toss between Lucy and Lux.
Yeah, mine's similar too. I feel like Aura is there. I think this is a strong cast.
Oh, super strong. Yeah. Even Marsh is fabulous.
Yeah.
Oh yes, she really surprised me. Like
even Robin's fabulous. Robin's fabulous.
Oh yes,
Robin's great.
Selena, I don't think is getting a great showing. I think she's better than what we're seeing, actually. To be honest.
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
yeah. Yes.
So, that all really good.
Organically. That organically brings to a very shady question. Who do you think will go home next week?
What's the challenge? Do we know what the challenge is?
Design.
It's a design challenge.
Amethyst.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
If it's a design challenge, just going from this runway look and the creativity, because this is one of the runways that they give you that you can really go all out and show. There's some runways I think you can cheat on, but this is not a cheating on runway, and I think she cheated this one, to be honest.
Agree.
But I think she's super fun.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Right. Okay. Well, that wraps up our podcast for today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, and hopefully I'll see you at DragCon.
Yeah, are you coming to DragCon?
Are you going to be in LA?
I am because my other job is I direct and choreograph high school musicals.
Oh my God, you're a high school director. I wish you were mine, because mine was terrible and made me quit for 4 years.
Oh, really? No,
my high school time. Good. I was a middle school musical star. I had all the lead roles in middle school.
Your voice is amazing, Amanda. Like,
thank you.
Mine's better. Mine's better, but yours is
of course
like,
you do.
Closer.
Yeah, I could never be better than you do. That's so true.
That's so
true.
Yeah. I love I love teaching. I did a chorus line a couple of years ago at school. It's one of my favourite things I've ever done in my life.
Oh my God.
I had 9 boys that 8 of them had never danced before, and the way they worked, and they worked so hard. One of the boys, I thought he was going to leave, and then he didn't. And then I made a bet with him. I said, "You're going to work really hard, and I'm going to teach you how to do it." And he goes, "Yes, sir," and shook my hand. And he goes, "Oh, so I can't do pencil turns." And I said, "Well, if you work hard enough, maybe you will." And he goes, "In a couple of weeks, it's over 4 months." He goes, "Oh, sir, so I got to do my pencil turn today." And I said, "Well, maybe next week you'll be able to do 2. And then a friend of mine had done the professional version of the show, and she came in and spoke to the cast. And then when she left, I said, "Now, guys, your parents aren't expecting to see the professional version." She goes, "Oh, yes, they are, sir." And I said, "No, I said, Daniel, the best thing is that your parents are going to come and see things they never ever thought you would ever achieve. And he goes, oh, thank you, sir. Every time I cry.
Oh, that's so
Oh my
sweet.
God.
That is so
And
cute.
Yes, I love that.
Me too. And that's what I love doing the most. I love giving that.
And thank you for being a good high school director, because there's so many like people out there that wish they could have someone like you to actually like encourage you and push you no matter what background you're from or like what your goals are in life, just being in the moment in theater.
I think because there were a few times in my life, like there was this show I did, and I didn't audition to get the show, but I got the job, and this was Australian director Ross Coleman. I went to shake his hand on the first day of meeting. He goes, no, I don't shake hands. And he made me do jetés across the room by myself, made me feel this small. I swear I would never, ever make anyone feel small. And I always say to kids, now, I don't expect you to be the most talented person in the room, but I just expect you to be the best version of you in the room. And that's all I ask. And then if you can better yourself, because you'll achieve, if you just think that, you'll achieve something you never thought you ever would.
Right.
Such healthy minds.
Literally.
I wish I could take my own advice, though.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay. Well, real quick, let's we just want to give out a shout out to our patrons, our National Press Tier patron, Starlight. Shout out to you. If you want to be shouted out, check out our Patreon link in the description or pin to our tweet if you're listening. We have multiple tiers. National tier will get you a shout out, but thank you to all of our patrons. Just had to get that out of the way. Yeah.
But seriously, thank you so much, Minnie, for coming. And don't forget to stream. Tell the people where they can find your song.
On the 1st of February, I have a song release called Dragstar with the amazing Coco Jumbo. Check it out. Share. Oh.
Yes. Get the word out. We love it.
And before we, end the video, tell people where they can find you.
You can find me
on social media platforms.
You can find me on the Instagram at the Minnie Cooper, and on Twitter the Minnie Cooper. I think on TikTok the Minnie Cooper, and Facebook. I don't know what I don't even look at Facebook anymore.
All right. Thank you all, and we will see you all next week.
Yay.
Bye.